Hello everyone, I'm Andrew Malanta and welcome to this week's video on wedding videography. Now I've been doing weddings for the past couple of years and I have a couple tips for anybody that's thinking about getting into the business. The first tip I'd like to give you is get to know your client. Definitely meet with your couple before their wedding date just to get as much information as possible about them, how they met, how the groom proposed, any information you might need to know about the wedding. What I know and don't know about my couples that I work with definitely influences how their video turns out. And I like to meet with them before their wedding date just for them to get to know me better. You're gonna be spending all day with this couple and it just makes it easier to communicate and just makes the day go by faster if you're comfortable with them. And meeting with them before definitely helps you to get to know them, have a sort of like a working friendship rather than just like a client and vendor relationship. And another big reason I like to get to know my clients is that I like to get excited for their event. I don't like when projects feel like work. And if I'm excited to be shooting this couple and be excited to work on their wedding video, it doesn't feel like work. I love doing what I do. And when you love doing what you do, it doesn't feel like work. So definitely get to know your clients. Second tip I have is get in touch with the other vendors. The three main vendors I always get in touch with is the wedding coordinator, the DJ, and the wedding photographer. The wedding coordinator is going to have an itinerary for the day so you know what is going to happen when. If there are any changes made prior to the wedding date, they're probably going to be the first person that the bride and groom notify. You want to get a phone number for them because you don't want to be calling the bride and groom the day of. I want them to be enjoying their day rather than me constantly bombarding them with questions. So definitely get in touch with the wedding coordinator. I usually contact the DJ because of wedding audio for speeches and most like the ceremony if they are overseeing sound for the ceremony. I did a video on how I capture audio for weddings. I'll link that in the description, so go ahead and check that out. But I mainly get in touch with the DJ to make sure I have the right equipment, the right cables to hook into his system. And as a wedding videographer, you definitely want to get in touch with the photographer because this is the person you're going to be working with most of the time. For me, I let the photographer do their thing while I sit in the background, sort of get candid shots, but you definitely want to be sure that they know where you are, where you want to know where they are, especially during the ceremony. You don't want to be that videographer that gets in the shot of the photographer, and you definitely want to be sharing ideas with the photographer. Maybe you're shooting at an angle that looks really cool and you're like, hey, I have an angle over here, have you tried shooting from here? Because if you're more open to sharing ideas with the photographer, they're more inclined to be sharing ideas with you, and the person that wins in the end is your couple that you're working for because they'll be getting the best photos and the best video possible if you're just vibing off of other people's ideas. The third tip I have is pack light so you're not lugging around a whole lot of equipment the day of. The day after weddings, I'm so mentally and physically exhausted that I don't plan anything the day after. It's like an 8-hour day on your feet all day long, and when you have to lug around a lot of equipment, it just makes it that much more taxing. But definitely stay light so you're more mobile, because that way you'll be able to stay out of certain people's way. You're not taking up a whole lot of space, and it also lowers the risk of you losing equipment the day of. Fourth tip I have is get plenty of rest the night before and eat. Day of weddings, I normally have a big breakfast of sort of a light lunch before I leave. But imagine going an entire 8-hour workday without eating at all. And then on top of that, you're constantly moving around and you're constantly thinking about what you need to shoot next. And it's just one of those things that you kind of overlook. And be sure that you get fed during the reception. For me, I request to get served my food the same time as the bride and groom. This way I know they're not doing anything important because nobody likes to get taking photos or being shot with video while you're eating. I find it rude, and it doesn't have to be much. It could be something as simple as a sandwich, just as long as I get fed. The next tip I have is be flexible the day of. I've been plenty of weddings to where they had to switch things around at the last minute because something didn't go right here or somebody didn't show up there. And the more flexible that you are with the schedule, it just makes it easier for the bride and groom. And that leads me to my last and probably the most important tip that I have is it's not about you. The couple that you're working with hired you because they trust you with the video, but I always tell my couples that it's not my wedding video, it's their wedding video. If they want TIE fighters and X-Wings in the background, I'm more than happy to do that for them because it's something that they're going to be cherishing for the rest of their lives together. So those are all the tips I have for you this week. Wedding videography isn't for everybody, but if you are thinking about getting into the business, hopefully these tips will help you out. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, or you can tweet them to me at Drew D. Malanta. I do tip and tutorial videos every week, so be sure to subscribe to be up to date on all those. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.